Okay, so today in this video we will learn how to set up a Tailwind project in local and how to set up it correctly. Like if you want to give to some client or they publish it somewhere, then how to set up it properly, because Tailwind documentation doesn't give you very production ready kind of code, because it definitely compress the css and remove the unnecessary css. But the point is here is that the folder structure or the file structure is not very good. It's not very simple either. So that thing we will cover in this video. And the another thing is that we will connect it to the GitHub, so that for every commit, for every change, you can commit and then you can push to the GitHub, so that your code will be synced with your GitHub repository, and so that you can show your code some in portfolios, and your code will be secure online. So, and it is a good practice. So if you work for a real client or in a company for a job, then this skill will be required. So, and if you are a front-end developer, then HTML, CSS and these Tailwind things, you can do work on those. And you have to get familiar with the Git also. Okay, so you have to put the Git and use the Git with your project day by day, daily, I guess. So let's get started with that. So I have a blank project here with single HTML, nothing written. So I'm just giving you a live. So if you want to create some website, okay, so you just copy something from here, like copy this, paste this, but it will not work because we didn't set up our Tailwind. So let's click on get started, and here you have multiple approaches. Okay, the easiest approach is this, but it is not very production ready. Okay, so we go for default Tailwind CLI. Okay, so first we run this command. So open the terminal on the this, and we paste this. So it will install the Tailwind CSS as a dev dependency. Okay, so it didn't create any file because it doesn't need. Okay, then we copy this command and we paste it. It will create a new config file. Okay, now here is the change. So they are saying that you need to create a source folder. Okay, and so we copy this, but we don't put this source here. Like we delete this thing, because we have HTML index HTML right after before, like we don't have any folder like source, so we have an index HTML outside. Okay, so this will work for us. Okay, and we create see here they are saying the source. So for better things in folder structure and production, we don't create this like source. We just make a input CSS outside it. So copy it, make an input.css file and then paste it. Okay, now the command is accordingly the source file, so we need to change the command a little bit. And for the backup, like if you don't want to forget it, just comment here and copy paste the command. So it will help you to remind like what was your command. Okay, in the command we need to change something, like we need to remove the source here because we don't have source folder, and we have to remove this also because in dist folder that's create the problem in production when you try to sync up your CSS with your thing. And not output.js, we generally make it as style.css. So what it does, it will check all your HTML files and JS file where you use the Tailwind, and it will take the CSS from input CSS and do its magic and convert the only necessary CSS in this output file. So here is -i for input, -o for output. So this command will take care the rest of the things. Okay, so we just run it. Okay, and it is by --watch means it is watching constantly the file, so you don't have to run the command again and again. And once it is done, see you have this style CSS, but the little work is still there. You have to link this CSS file, because for seeing the changes you have to link the CSS. That's obvious. So we have linked the CSS and we have run some Tailwind code. Let's see it is working or not. Okay, we have already opened it on live server. So yeah, here it is working. Okay, so suppose you have this website. Now you made, like, I hope you made beautiful websites, but for this example we have, this is sufficient, like 3 posts. Okay, let's add some navigation bar also. Okay, for the sake of like making things little bit beautiful. So let's copy this, and paste above it. Okay, so we have the navbar also. Okay, now we want to make it a Git repository and we have to push on GitHub, so that every change will be recorded on Git and it will be available online on the GitHub repository, the remote repository. Okay, so the steps are, you need to take this very careful before initializing the Git. Like you have, if you used any Git, like please watch some crash course or some introductory video on Git, know what is Git and how Git works. So first we have to initialize the Git. Okay, but before the initialization I suggest you create a fun file named git ignore. Okay, and in git ignore you don't want to move the file which you don't need in production. Okay, or if you share some code to anyone, you don't want to ship that code to. Okay, so you just name the folder. So first is the node module, so node_modules. Okay, and the second thing, I guess you don't want, rest things can go, like package log can go, style, your input style, your output style can go still, your HTML and your config, so that you know what configs you set, because in future you have some theme, some plugin, so you do want that on your GitHub. Okay, so that's it, your GitHub, your node module. But in future, if you have some assets or some very large file, you don't want them to push on GitHub, so you simply write the name on git ignore and it will not get pushed, it will not even commit. So the step 1 is git init, initialize the Git. Okay, then make a commit. So git add dot to add the file to the staging area, git space commit -m for message. And what is the message? Like first commit, I guess, first commit. Okay, the local part is done. Okay, we will come back here, but now we have to set up our remote repository on GitHub. Okay, and one thing, you make sure that you have your Git installed in your system. For Windows it is git bash, and for Linux, I guess for Linux and for Mac it is already installed on your software, so it doesn't need to install anything. If not, if you don't found it, please install, just Google it and install it. Is very simple. Okay, so now we have to set up our GitHub repository. Okay, on GitHub, just sign up. It is a very simple process. Now you have to create a new repository. So on your navigation bar you have this plus icon, so and there is option is new repository. So just click on this new repository. Now here is my name on your page, it will be your name, so you can name a repository, like I can name blog. Okay, it is up to you if you want to make it public or a private. I'm making private. You can sometimes you don't want to share the code, but if you are a new in the industry, you want to share the code to the public for your portfolio kind of things, but you're working for a client project, make sure it's private, because you don't want to share your client code to the public. That is very necessary thing, very important thing to remember. Okay, that's it. You don't have to touch anything, just create a repository and that's it. It will give you some commands to run. Okay, so we have already initialized the Git, we added our files, we committed the first change. Now we have to run these 3 commands also, and that's it. Your setup will work. After that I will show you some changes also, but yeah, so just run this command here, paste it. Okay, then this, paste it, and this. Okay, and then paste it. Okay, and it will push your local code, this code, to the remote repository, like it is showing done. Okay, so if you refresh this page, your code is there, or your node module folder is not there, and that is the good thing. We want that. We don't want node module folder in the GitHub. Okay, now it is very good and it is showing us all the things. Okay, now what is the workflow? Like now suppose if you have changed something, like if you added another section. Okay, let's see, before that you want a hero section like this. You want a hero section and copy to clipboard, and after the header you want this. Okay, you saved it, it is working, it is looking good. Okay, but you want to see, you want to see the changes on the GitHub. You want to push this, you want to push this code on a GitHub also. So what you do, you simply remember these 3 commands: git add dot, it will add up all the new changes, like, and your VS Code also saying that it is modified and you can see all the changes here also, like index file and style file. Style file is automatic because of this command we have running also. And yeah, make sure every time you open your previous project or old project, you have to run this command to work with CSS. Otherwise your CSS will work partially and it will not work correctly. So make sure to run this as well. Okay, back to the new terminal. So we run the command git add dot to add this file on the stage changes, then git commit -m your message, like added hero section, and after that the local part is done. But you want to push that code to the GitHub, so just run the command git space push and hit enter. Now it will only the changes it will push to the GitHub. You can see by refreshing this repository page. See, you have changed only the index, so it is showing here the 20 seconds ago, and only the style. Okay, the rest of the things are same. So and here it is showing 2 commits because we have pushed 2 times and we have committed 2 times. Okay, so yeah, so this is the workflow. So if you lost anywhere your laptop or anywhere code and you accidentally deleted the code from your local, don't need to worry. Just go to onlinegithub.com in your repository and you can download the zip here, and it will work like same in your in your local. And for the node module, if you are saying for node module where you can get it, just install run this command, first command. Okay, and it will generate the node module in your local and it will work fine. Okay, so this is the whole setup, and I think it will be very helpful for you, and I highly recommend, like before, for my side, for my experience, I highly suggest to follow this kind of thing, because this specific folder, if you want to send this project to someone, okay, then only input CSS and index CSS and the assets you used, like images, only send these 2 files, these 3 files and other assets things to the client or to the someone you want to you want to provide your folder, because these things will be no use of those. Sorry, no input. I'm repeating myself. The style and index file should be there. Okay, input is not there. Style, index, and your assets. These 3 things should be in your production, and you send these 3 things also only. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I think if you confused and if you want to ask anything, please write down in comment. I will help you. Okay, thanks for watching.